yesterday in my studio and I tripped over a wire. I grabbed something, I pulled on a wire in the camera and broke off a clip, and that happened to be the video clip that we need from the camera to the computer. We'll have one here 4:35 in the morning. I ordered it special. It'll be delivered to the house then, so I'll be back to normal tomorrow. We had one for today, and lo and behold, we bought a mini, not a micro clip that we needed. You know, you make one mistake, they keep going. So what'd you think today of the testimonies, first of Chairman Powell and Janet Yellen? I thought it fascinating to watch the two together. They are a good team. Senator Warren, well, what can I tell you about her? She hates Chairman Powell. She made that known. And she's given the Biden administration creating problems for them. Remember, she ran against President Biden. She's not a teammate there, believe me. So he's got his hands full. It does appear to me that we have a situation where the marketplace is panicked a bit because tapering is here. It's going to happen. You heard that from the Fed chair if you listened to it today. They are warning you that if we can't get through the politics of a budget, getting the ceiling raised and getting a budget done, even Jimmy Dimon jumped in on that, we could have a catastrophe on our hands in terms of loss of the U.S. confidence, people in our currency, in our banking system, and our government. And yet, here we go with the Democrats and Republicans not willing to make a deal on that. Now, I don't think you'll get the Republicans to join at all. The game has changed, and the Democrats are caught in their own internal bickering, and that's where this is going to stay. And whatever happens, budget increases, debt ceiling, it's going to be all on the Republican because they're the party in control, and that's what the people remember. They control the presidency, they control the House, and they control the Senate, right? Well, they control the Senate via the split vote that Ms. Harris, the VP, will throw. Got it? That's how it's going to come down. And those were the questions today. So you've got to pay attention to that. It's a shock to the market whenever you're going to get away from the super easy money policy. But tapering still means you're buying. It is not shutting off what the government is doing. But the fact that you got to go through the first phase, what a perfect time for it in September, one of the historic months where we always get something that doesn't go right? That's how I'm viewing it. Okay. So when we look at the S&P, this is the first time in a long time on a weekly basis that we are underneath the 18-week average. You got to come back on the chart to here, which gives you all the way back to October 30th, a year ago almost, 11 months ago, when the market did that. What was the result? It came snapping back. I happen to think that you're looking at the worst case scenarios on everything, and I'm not convinced that the market is going to just suddenly have ended its bull streak. Could I be wrong? Very. But do I think so? I'm not seeing it off this chart action. In the December S&P 500 bar chart now, well, you can see you're getting a big correction in the marketplace right through here. And when we step over here, you see that you've got a higher high, lower low scenario. That means you've stepped out of that upswing that you recently had. And where did the upswing end? Right where I teach you. I call this the line in the sand. The 18-week moving average of closes. Markets are often either fall to them to look for what's going to be next, as they did here, or they'll rally to them for the same thing. Well, obviously that was it. Now you've fallen back. And what was support before? The 100-day moving average. I have every reason to believe that that moving average of closes will hold along with the lower Bollinger Band. So I'm not that concerned about the market right here. It's been a son of a gun to trade. I got to throw September out the window and look at the market on a positive note for October. And that's exactly what mentally I'm already doing. This was just a hard month. When we go to slow stochastics, they're still pointing down, and no, they are not oversold. You have neither number sitting there in any range that is under the 30 level. When we come to the NASDAQ, same thing, higher high, peaked out against this 18-day average, broke down back to the Bollinger Band. Why not find support there again? You're oversold as can be when you take a look right here, and you're nowhere near embedding in this process. In the Dow Jones, where did you basically fail? the 18-day average of closes. You fought a battle trying to hold on to the 100-day, as you know that, right through here on these small corrections. Then you started letting go, and this is today's action, and this is tonight. What do you look for on the way back up? Resistance at those numbers, but you're not in a trend. In the Russell, you did the best here of getting over these averages, but they gave ground like they didn't even exist today, and now the market's pulling back into them. There is no trend. I thought you might be able to get up to the upper Bollinger Band, but you failed, but you're still without a trend in the market. In the VIX cash, I wrote to my subscribers today, and I said, I think the pros are right now writing the calls here to get back down into this area, which, if I'm right, will lead to a bounce in the stock market. We'll see if I'm right on that. In the 30-year bond, this is a breakout. Now, let me explain breakouts. Here's a market that has spent the better part of from August all the way through. You can see that going sideways in the bands, and they narrowed in quite a bit. So suddenly what the market did is it breaks out to the downside there. You don't get another day after that, which was Monday, where you close in the bottom of the market. Instead, you're trying to hold the 100-day average. You gave ground on that today. As you can see, it opened, actually studied a higher, and once that caved in, it gave you 3 days in a row under the lower Bollinger Band. It was today, you're 4. You rarely get beyond 5. So I think the market's on borrowed time, and it's going to bounce to the right-hand side. That does not mean it's stepping back into an uptrend. It's not. Rather, I think a major top has been made in the market, but it's too oversold to go short, and it's overextended by being that much under the bands, the Bollinger Bands. I have the same dilemma, or do I, in the 10-year? Day 1 of under, 2, 3, 4. You could be 5 today. You rarely go beyond 5. So I could be there today, but I'm looking for the markets to get to the right-hand side of this. Once again, a major top in place. Dollar index. The dollar index is trying to embed. So if we look at this, both numbers right here were not over 80. Look on the left, which will be right over here, as you can see on my cursor and what I'm highlighting. However, they then begin the process on Friday. Day 1, where both are over 80. If you look on the left, day 2, day 3, they're fully embedded. That tells me that on the breaks, the pros are going to start buying this market again, looking for this to still work itself to higher numbers. Been a hard currency market. It looked like it would fail, then it looked like it would rally, then a failure, and again a strong rally, back and forth. And it's the flip-flop of this in the euro, which is just working its way lower, and I'm sure the Europeans are happy about that because goods priced in their currency are cheaper than goods priced in dollars at this point on a relative basis. In the British pound, falling apart. Prime Minister Ms. Johnson has to figure out a way on this fuel crisis out of it. This is just really ugly for him. I know he's got the army ready to go. One of the main companies with lorries, they got a hack attack that was quietly up until today. I knew nothing about it in the news, and they have been not paying their drivers. They're a month behind from what I am hearing. The drivers stopped driving for them. They're not getting paid. The company claims everybody will be paid by this Friday as they finally figured the situation out. But it's a confluence of all this bad information and what is going on. Terrible, terrible time. Then in Bitcoin, back down to the 100-day average. So the market keeps falling back into Bollinger Bands and that. You're not getting the bid, are you? Where people are running to this is the safe haven play, not in any manner. Then when we take a look at November Brent versus WTI crude, well, it certainly peaked out here in the 411 area, and the market's backing off, but it's not enough to say you've broken the trend. It's a pullback in a market that still favors Brent over WTI. And as I told you, it was just a question. We were talking about this the other day of when the market rolls back into the Bollinger Bands, and that's happening. Now, you also have an embedded reading. If you count with me, look at the left. Day 1, 2, 3. So you're embedded. Have you had a real chance to buy this break? No. And now you got to be a bit nervous while it's down tonight. If it drops much more and you get under an 80 level, you may not stay embedded. I think the pros will buy. There's a key moving average they look at, and I think they'll use that. But I'm telling you that they'll spin around if they smell a problem. WTI looks a bit safer to me, but on the pullback you want to buy and you want to bail, in my opinion, if you get a reading here under 79. November heating oil, watch out. You're flirting with losing this reading. But I think that for those of us that look and want to own this market longer term, it's a question of buying it on breaks because of winter coming and tight supplies, and the same in nat gas. But why buy the market over Bollinger Bands? The odds are it's going to pull back under them, and you get a lot of action from that. With that, I want to remind you, if you go to our website, we have a lot of information for you at www.iraepstein.com. With any luck, my beautiful face will be in these videos for you in the morning. And certainly, unless the wrong cable comes again, you'll see me in the afternoon. Have a great day.